Hello everybody, my name's Sean Woolley. I'm the Managing Director of Cloud9 Spain and committee member of the LPA. Welcome to the latest edition of the LPA podcast. With me today I have two fantastic guests, Mia Pearlman, who many of you will know from this podcast. She's the Managing Director of Affinity Property Group, I got that right, yes. And Justin Boland, who's Managing Director and Partner of Sala Homes. Welcome aboard, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Today, we're going to be talking, we're just going to be having a market review, really. What's been happening in the Costa del Sol property market in the last few months, up to wherever we are this year. August is behind us, thank goodness. We're off into September now, the traditionally quite a busy time of the year. Just before we get into the bones of it, I'd like to thank Invoga for the use of this magnificent office and facility. Thank you so much. And let's kick off. So,
looking at me.
Looking at
Oh,
you.
no.
Mia can start.
Mia can start. So how have you found things? How has it been for you?
The year so far has been incredible.
Okay.
The last month of summer, August, has been also incredible. For the wrong reason. So if we could just remove that from the data.
Should we just take that out of our spreadsheets?
Let's just remove it and do 11 months this year because it was a shocker. And do you know what it reminded me of? Back in the olden days when, and I do have a story about this and I won't take up too many minutes, don't worry, because I know we have a very special guest who's back.
Not at all.
You know when you would sit in your office and somebody would walk in with an ice cream and no top on?
I've no idea where this is going. This might be cut out.
Right? And they're just looking for a property.
Oh,
Yeah.
tire kickers.
Right?
The real estate tourist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yes. Oh,
They always used to come
that
up as
was a
cloudy,
thing.
didn't they?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a thing this year.
Oh, yeah, we've been tour operators, literally
Yeah.
the whole of August.
Booking tables for La Sala and things like that.
I actually do that anyways.
Oh, do you?
That's handy.
Drop me a message.
So,
Yeah.
okay, so you're not
So-
a fan of this August just
I
gone?
feel like in a way, if we've gone back to that mentality, that's absolutely fine. Because we all used to work in that industry and we all used to get ready for it, didn't we? We used to get ready for an August where you think, God, I hope I don't lose my sales team. I hope I don't lose my customers because we're
We
all
used to
going
go
to
on
be
holiday, didn't we?
exhausted. Yeah. And you just sort of, you wouldn't down tools because Affinity, no, there's no down tools. We work on Christmas Day, right? But there is this difference. But because we've never had to do it since COVID, it's been full on.
100% agree, yeah.
At August, we've had some Augusts that have beaten every other month in the year previously. So, as always, it's a market, it's a property market, like a stock market, it's moving all the time. But this is a big move.
So just before we analyse what the heck's gone on, Justin, what about you? Have you had the same pattern?
You know, it's quite funny because with us, we're slightly different. We're a lot newer than you guys, even though the group is around nearly 17 years. Sala Homes actually started just over a year and a half ago, a little bit more. So, but I've been in the market, as you both know, for many years as a sales director for a big agency previously. So my experience is exactly, the same as Mia. We've had some amazing summers. And then suddenly this summer, we've been so busy. It's been like, I started the summer and I'm like, fantastic, and then viewing comes back, no deal. Viewing comes back, no deal. And I'm like, what's wrong with my brokers? I was like, can you not close a deal? And then I started going, well, hold on a second. It's the summer. I had to remind myself, it's the summer. And what's happening is you've got somebody sitting on the beach going, wow, I fancy living down here. I fancy buying a house. Well, let's, go open Idealist or whatever. Oh, yeah. Let's book an appointment to go and see a house. And I think that's what's been happening this summer more than others. So I've seen that and I absolutely can relate to it. We've been so busy being basically a chauffeur, driving people around, showing people houses and opening front doors, which, I love doing. There's an upside from my opinion on that, which is these people who dream do eventually buy, not all of them, but there's a percentage. So we use it as a training ground to get our agents, keep them motivated and say, guys, today they may not buy, but next time. So
Keep them warm.
yes, it's been a pain, I have to admit. But
And has it just been August or has it been the whole summer? If we start from maybe June.
I mean, I personally do think there's a difference in the client, the buyer. and we, like I say, we do a volume. So I feel like sometimes we're a bit like the weather vane. We can really detect a change. And whereas before we would take out up to 100 clients in a month on a qualified tour, and we would show each one of those clients 10 properties in a day. That's gone. That really is. So out of the 100 that we take out now, actually that's moved down to 80. But out of those 80 we take out, it's really, if we can get 10 or 20% of those on a full day tour, we're winning. Because most people only want to see one thing or two things, or they're seeing other agencies, and then they'll see one thing with you, a bit like the British market, where they'll go to 3 agents to see 3 properties. And it doesn't really matter how many times you tell the story of it's an MLS, you only need one agency. It's falling on deaf ears because the client actually is pretty educated, but they still end up running around doing all this stressful work for themselves.
We get a lot of that. We get a client who kind of knows the development, knows the phase, knows the block they want to be in. It's like, whoa, because their friends have stayed there or they've stayed there. So it's a very specific type of inquiry. So they don't want to go out for 4 days with you.
No.
We want them out for 4 days so we can establish a rapport and all those things. But actually, they just want to see those 2 apartments that are available in that block, that phase, that development. Thank you and good night.
Yeah.
And so you can't build that rapport because you're with them for half an hour.
To build a relationship nowadays.
I think I would say that we've become experts at the latter because we don't, unlike yourselves, we're not so much of a volume company. We do fewer sales, some good sales, of course, but we don't get the time that we would love to have with the clients as much as maybe you would because you do the whole tour. And therefore, our volume has been relatively consistent, but small at a good level.
Yeah.
So
consistency is a win.
Exactly, and we're new, so I can't. So next year, ask me the same question, and I think I'll be.
We're all going on a Caribbean cruise next August. I think it's like the real estate. We could have a real estate cruise, couldn't we? All the Marbella agents just.
Did you just confirm that you're paying for it, which is fantastic?
He did, because he has also had his best year yet.
Oh. Well, now I know that Mia's doing 100 tours a month. I think she can chip that.
Okay. Well, listen, I don't mind if you both pay. I'm coming.
Fine. You're in.
Although La Sala. I think if we look back though over the course of the whole year, in terms of generally, if we just forget August, write it out of the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Apart from that, good year.
Very good year. Very good year, and we've been blessed with some really, really high-end ticket sales.
Which helps.
So that helps a lot, but I'm a realistic person, and I do say if we took out those sales, and there's been a good handful of them, it hasn't just been 1 or 2, if you do take those out, where does it leave?
Yeah, but I think you're being unkind on yourself, because I think you've got to include those as a measure of where your business is heading.
Absolutely, and I work with some of her teams. I'm gonna kind of support something there on what Sean's saying, because I work with some of your guys.
Yeah.
And I've done a deal with one of your guys this year, and it was, she was amazing, and I think it is.
Yeah.
So, you've got some really strong team members, and I think that's key. At least on our side, the key is getting the quality agents and making sure that they're trained well. Yeah. And then when we do, because we don't have 4 days with a client, so that moment we've got to take advantage of that and work hard but diligent and make sure we understand, hence being part of this group, is understand the business and how it works and make sure that we close deals when we have opportunities on our table.
Yeah.
And that's getting the right team members.
Just to clarify, are you more of a listing agent, or you have quite some good stock, don't you?
Yeah, so I'm very, very, very focused on listings, and the reason I'm very focused on listings, and the reason for that is because I come from a listing background, as you know from the company previous. So I've learned how to master the listing. Yeah, I hate using the word because it sounds a little bit, but yeah,
farming.
Yeah, farming. So we're all
an area.
So, but I'm Irish, so we go farming. So, but yeah, I'm used to going out there hunting for the properties.
Yeah.
I'm a provider, and what I want to do is, and I honestly, I know it sounds a bit cheesy, but I think we're the agent's agent. That's how I'm building ourselves up. I love collaborating.
So you
love
will,
it.
So
and
you
want
will,
it.
So you will feel a little bit of pain if we feel a little bit of pain as
Sure.
property finders for, if we're getting the leads in that are then going to fuel your
Sure, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to work, really broad.
Yeah.
Because you see, once it doesn't matter. I mean, I know that we need good agents and good agencies, but if they bring the lead in, even if it's an independent who has no idea what they're doing, I just take over from there. I help them, I guide it, but I make sure it's done properly because that's what I do best. So yes, I would be affected and am affected, and we don't do volume, not yet, of course. But yeah, we're predominantly a listing agent, and I think for us, collaboration is absolute key.
Yeah.
I've got some good news. I was told by our resident expert, Mr. Alfredo, that according to the stats, the last 25 years, apart from the little post-COVID period we've had, last 25 years, August has been crap.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think we are returning to a normalised market.
Yeah.
Because I think we've had the post-COVID little boom.
Yeah.
Where we've had a lot of wealth come to Marbella looking for a better quality of life. And I think that lasted for a few years, actually, because it took time to unravel.
Yeah.
And I think we've seen that in the first half of this year as well. I think it's become a destination. It's become the California of Europe. We're attracting, I don't know about you guys, but we're attracting buyers from all over the world, literally countries I've never heard of. And they're all coming to Marbella. They all want a slice of the action. But I do think that August, we've just taken a bit of a breather. And it's not traditionally August has never been a great hunting ground, has it? Because you do get people just here on holiday having a look with no real meaningful intent.
Good time for holidays, get the juniors out, opening the doors
And
in
also,
a little bit.
if I wanted to book a viewing trip, I would not go in August.
No,
Because
would
it's too
I?
bloody hot.
I wouldn't
And
spend
half
a
the
day-
properties you can't get into.
No, and I wouldn't spend a day of my holiday coming off. But that's what's confusing.
Yes.
Because I'm thinking, we had about 86, 87 people on tour for August.
Wow.
Those people have booked a beautiful holiday. It's roasting hot. They've got a hotel with a sunbed and a pool, and they've left that to come and view property. So in my head, they're all in.
Yeah.
And like you say, it's really good. They are tomorrow's buyer, right?
Yeah.
I get that.
A very low percentage.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But equally, it is quite confusing when somebody does that because you think, you're showing signs of commitment and you're showing signs of, I've left what I've left to come and go into 3 properties.
It's
You've
crazy.
got zero intention of doing a deal.
We're having a similar but slightly different experience in that we haven't got the volume that you deal with, but we're getting clients who are signalling intent. They're making all the right noises, but remember the old term one-legger. It's terrible, isn't it? But they're one-leggers.
Well, you might need to explain that now.
So this is where...
I don't know what that is.
Yeah. It's not some kinky section.
No,
don't worry.
that's a dirty
one-legger, be back.
So go ahead, you've got my...
Come on.
A one-legger is normally a husband or a wife or a member of the partnership that comes without the other one. So they're on one leg.
And it's not the decision maker.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Okay.
So
I got it now.
We've had
I
so
thought
many
it was
people
something else,
having
so.
to go, having to go home, talk to the wife, talk to the husband. It's like, really, why didn't you bring them with you? But we had quite a lot of that. But they're not dead deals. They're just. And of course, we all know they go home and they talk to the family, and the family has a completely different idea of what they should be buying. And they need to come out again, and it just goes on and on and on. So we're getting a lot of that. There seems to be intent, but then in terms of getting them to commit is a problem.
Yeah.
Whether it's committing to an offer or committing to a purchase. And we've had offers that have gone nowhere because there hasn't been enough intent for them to follow it up.
Yes.
And so it's frustrating because we're working just as hard.
Yeah.
We're doing the job as well, if not better than we've ever done. But it's like, oh, come on, play the game.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. With the American elections where they, whether it's Fox News or something, they're expecting the results in an hour, and they say, right, we're going to call this election. That's my American accent, right? It's not very good. We're going to call this. We're going to call this election. We're going to call it for the Democrats.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, really? But you haven't got any votes in. No, we called it. Are we calling? Is this the top of the market? Have we plateaued out?
Yeah.
I mean, have we, the last few years has
In
been...
what sense? Sorry,
Well, the last few
on
years...
price or
Yes.
on price?
And bearing in mind that this is
What
not
I
a
say,
sweeping
right.
generalisation, because we're dealing with micro markets, aren't we?
Yeah.
And the Calahonda market might be different to the La Duquesa market, which might be different to the Golden Mile market, and they're all up and down, depending on stock levels, depending on demand. So you can't treat the Costa del Sol as a whole thing. But I just wonder, after the enormous success of the last few years, hundreds, thousands of people buying properties here from all over the world, whether it's just reached that point where maybe there's not quite the same demand. There's plenty of us knocking around, so we're feeling the pinch because we're not getting our market share that we're used to, but there's still plenty of demand.
Sure.
But maybe not quite as much as there was, whereas the supply side, vendors are still reaching out for top prices, but maybe buyers just aren't going to go there.
Yeah.
So we've got this little pause, and it's happened, it's happened so many times in the past, maybe every couple of years, and you just have this 2 or 3 month pause where everything just adjusts. I feel that we might be there.
If I may, I think you're absolutely right, and I think it's about time too. And I think part of that should be influenced a little bit with ourselves and all the good agents talking to the owners and trying to help them understand that there is a point, and this is of course the battle. We spend many hours, and we do quite a big presentation. When we do a valuation, we put a lot of time into the valuation, and we justify the valuation. I won't take a property on that is massively overpriced. Of course, if they want push a little bit, but I will not take a property on that is massively overpriced. I will argue till I'm red in the face to try to get the price at the right level, and I agree 100% that I think that we're probably at a level right now that I don't think we're going to see a massive increase. I don't think we're going to see a fall. I remember, because I've been in this a long time too, almost 27 years, back in the day when we had the bubble market, which was selling off plan, right? We'd sell off plan, then the clients, some agents, and definitely not us, would take one client with 150 grand and spread it into 5 properties to flip and resell. And of course, back in the old days, Ocean Estates did do that, and then others jumped on. That was an absolute bubble market, similar to the crypto market. It's a retail investor. That would never have worked. Right now, what I see is from the buyers is 95% of buyers are not buying for pure investment. They're buying for a second home, and they're normally a lot younger than they used to be, and they're buying for their businesses, and they're buying for for lifestyle between Dubai and here, and so on and so on. So I see this market, from my point of view, stable. I don't see us having a massive drop, because I don't see it related to any other market that I've been in the past, retirement markets, bubble markets. This is a great market, and I'm really excited, and I'm obviously a very optimistic person, and I will remain optimistic. And every single person who listens to this, I think that our optimism and our drive to continue to be successful is what will make this market continue to be successful. So I personally think, no, let's not push the prices any further. Let's try to get the prices at the right level and get them sold and continue to do well, and we will do well.
That's very good. You should be a politician.
Yeah.
That's absolutely spot on. I think you're right. I'm not expecting any sort of crash or any sort of falls, but what we have noticed is some price corrections, haven't we? I mean, I get,
which is good.
I don't know if you have it, but I get all the stuff on resales online. Any price changes, any new listings. Every morning I have an hour looking at it, so I understand the market. So when I've got salespeople saying there's nothing in Estepona for 300,000, I can go, yeah, you're right, because I see everything that comes in, and I'm just noticing that there's little drop-offs on some of these prices, which is healthy, because some of these prices, they're not selling at those prices, so they're obviously not market value.
Yeah. But I do think we are, if we really are speaking honestly about this market, we are all talking about the villa market here, because I think the new developments are priced perfectly. Yeah. They're selling fast. There's no movement on that.
Yeah.
It's prolific.
Can't build them quick enough.
You can't build them quick enough. Can't get licensing quick enough. Bang, 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 bang. You've got it. Once you're hitting the sort of 5 million plus, and this has been my argument for quite a few years. At what point does a villa become worth 30 million?
Well, but that is just picking a number out of a hat, isn't it? Really, that's
Yes.
a trophy listing.
Sure.
It's almost a vanity listing. Can we beat the 30 million Villa Cullinan? Yeah, let's call it 35. Ooh.
Yeah, but I think I've said this in a previous podcast because I know how many sales happen at that higher end, and this year so far, you're looking at under 2 hands worth of sales, within our little network of Marbella. It's not as many as people think, that people are going in over 20 million and buying these properties. It really isn't.
I think that market has almost been satisfied. The post-COVID billionaires and millionaires who wanted that really swanky pad in Marbella have probably bought it by now. How many more of that type of client is there? Of course, there's always a supply of.
But there's a lot of supply now between the 15 and 15 million plus. That there's a big market there of inventory.
Do you know what's really annoying me? I'm sorry, I have to say it. At that level, is when they go on resale after, and I hope I don't upset anybody because I won't use any names. But what a disgrace!
When they
well, what I mean is, it goes on the market and it looks sensational. But after a year and a half, you see the crap that actually, excuse my expression, but the actual aftermath of those properties coming back on the market, that people are paying such huge amounts of money because what they see is what they see on the outside.
Yeah.
But once that house is lived in,
and the kids.
The
kids' toys are all over the place.
I seriously feel embarrassed, and I'm not talking about 15 million only. I'm talking about the 5 million and the 7 millions that have been built by a number of developers over the years.
But they're marketed
shameful. Because
they're marketed very cleverly.
They're
marketed very cleverly, effectively as show homes, aren't they?
Yes.
And people buy them because we all love a show home. But like you say, once they've been lived in for a couple of years, are they going to get the money back on them?
I would feel awful.
Yeah.
Some of those houses I just won't go near because I would feel awful and I'd feel responsible in a couple of years because I know what's behind the walls.
Yeah.
Because I've been in this business long enough and I've had the properties come back on the market. So I'm not a big fan of some of those.
So we're really in your hands because if we're getting the buyer leads and you're a listing agent, we are reliant on you really to price realistically.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're never going to be able to find clients to buy at those prices.
No.
So there is a duty of care, isn't there,
Yes.
on the listing agents to actually say to vendors, like you said, actually, the market it's cooling off a little bit. No disasters, but you need to be realistic because I think these buyers, as I say, they're here, they're willing to pay that much, and the vendors are kind of here, and there needs to be.
If us listing, I don't want to call us a lit, but if us kind of agents who are more focused on listing, don't do our job, we can also, in a sense, ruin a part of what you guys are doing out there.
You can ruin the market.
And I promise you one thing, I work so hard to try and get the pricing right. Yeah. And I will walk away from a listing very, very, very quickly if I think that the owners are taking the...
My concern is that...
I will not allow it.
That other listing agents won't.
No.
And they will take on a listing at 25 million that's actually worth 15, or they'll take on a listing at 2 million that's actually worth 1
But
million.
then I'll take it off them in a couple of months. I'm
And
sorry,
we'll
because I do it all the
together.
time.
Yeah.
And then I will sit down and I will have that
Yeah.
conversation and I will get the price at the level that we will all sell the property. But I will not be the person. I don't care if I lose a listing because I'm not putting my name on an ridiculously overpriced listing. And I guess in my own detriment, I guess I lose some opportunities because sometimes people are willing to pay ridiculous numbers. I'm not that agent who's going to take that listing. I feel a sense of pride and responsibility to us as a group because we are the ones who are holding this market together.
We I get a feeling, Jimmy, I get a feeling that buyers are smart. They know what's going on in this market. They're well researched. It's not like they're getting off a bus and they've never been to Marbella before. They
know what they're doing.
They know it better than us sometimes.
Yeah.
I think they can see this playing out as well, and I think this comes back to the August thing where they're just going, do you know what? Let's just hang on a minute.
Well, I feel like the buyer is a little bit pissed off actually because the price has gone up so much. Although I might add that if you actually look back to pre-2007 prices on some developments, we're just levelling up at those prices now, right? So actually, we're going back 20 years, and we're only just coming up to that price point of 3,000 or 4,000 per square metre in some of these, exterior areas outside of Marbella. Still, we're cheaper than Mykonos, Ibiza, Saint-Tropez, you know, all of our counterparts, all of our competitors. We've got a 12-month market. So we win on every tick box, right? Marbella is destined to go so much further.
Absolutely.
My argument is, can you actually put a price on that, right? Because it's a piece of luxury. And when you compare it to, okay, I'm going to go to the south of France and buy something, I'm going to go to Ibiza and buy something, or I'm going to go to, you know, Mallorca, which is an island life, you've just got so much more for your money here. So it does command a higher price per square metre, and we're still not quite as 2007 levels.
Don't you think we've lost the mass market, haven't we? It used to be you buy a holiday home in Spain for 100,000, and it was like that for about 10 years, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There's no chance of that in this Costa del Sol.
It's like, you know, everything's gone up in value, everything. And I think just generally in the world right now, people are a little bit, really, you know, because they go out to their shopping, it's 30% more.
Yeah.
They go out and buy a car, it's gone up. They've got to have a roof over their house in their home country. Going to buy the luxury helicopter purchase, which is where we're at, that's kind of last on the list now.
Bearing in mind we're not dealing with a mass market audience anymore, how does that affect us as agents? Because there's the amount of us, we are mass market amounts, aren't we, really? We have got, how many, 2,000 agents?
No.
And God knows where
that's a big problem, for my opinion.
So if the market is just cooling, just having a little pause for a month or two, that's obviously going to cause some agents some pain. I mean, obviously we've seen it. You've probably seen it in August. We're hoping it doesn't continue, but we're not dealing with thousands and thousands and thousands of buyers anymore who've got that 100,000 euros. We're dealing with a much smaller proportion. They've got more money, but that money can only go to one or two agents.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? We've got to be better. That's
okay, because that was my next question. So what does that mean for us?
You've got to work harder.
Are we going to have some casualties in the market?
Hopefully.
Sorry.
Mia said it.
I said it.
Soundbite.
I said it.
I was like, if she doesn't say it, I'm going to.
Rossi Woods, I've just said it. There, I said it. Right? Because the thing is, we are a team of agents. The LPA is, you know, we work as a team.
Yeah.
We've all signed up for our code of conduct. We've all signed up because we have a common ground in how business should be done. Mm-hmm. And ultimately, that needs to be the future of this market, because anyone that doesn't want to sign up, why not?
Why not?
Why not? You know, it's a nominal fee. It's not about the money. It's about that you're prepared to put your neck on the line and be called out if you do something irresponsible.
I say to buyers and sellers, you know, I say it to their face. I say, look, if you don't choose us, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
But whatever you do, choose an LPA member.
Agree.
Please.
Agree.
Just make sure that's the one thing you do. Because, it gives you the only guarantee you've got, because we're not regulated, it gives you the only guarantee that's available that you're going to get some sort of decent level of service and ethics and standards. Okay.
You know, and if somebody does something wrong, you've got a panel of experts that are getting involved in that query. Yeah. And you can't say that about an outside agency.
We had a situation, I think, yesterday where we had a development that was presented to us that was clearly dodgy as heck. And mentioning no names, but that will save the LPA members' buyers a fortune.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they won't be paying deposits on a shonky development.
I think it's similar to representing a brand. In our case, we represent a brand, La Sala Group. And therefore, any mistakes I make, I mean, not mistakes, but any kind of, if I don't behave well, that reflects on my brand.
Like if you wear flip-flops at an LPA podcast. Yeah.
Did I?
Side-eye going over there.
So the brand is important, and being true to the group. And sorry, there is a reason for this, is with the LPA, we owe it to each other. And that's why we're part of something, is to look after the market that we work in and try to grow it. I feel a sense of responsibility, just as I do to the brand that I represent. I feel a responsibility to the LPA, and I think that we should all feel that responsibility and work towards, you know, because we don't need 2,000 agents. I'm sorry, it sounds like I'm trying to get rid of 1,000, but we don't need 1,500. We don't need that many agents if all of our teams pull together. People can come onto our teams, and we will grow them and make them strong and make them great and build a really sustainable market without these people. And one thing that you guys mentioned, I think it was you, Sean, who mentioned about the price. No, Mia mentioned about the prices. You know, I had a meeting with one of the biggest franchise owners or franchise company owners who owns Spain, England, loads of different countries. And I kind of told him about pricing in Marbella because they were coming into the market, and we were talking a little, and he laughed at me. He laughed at me because I went, yeah, you know, they're selling this penthouse in Puente Romano for 11 million. Can you imagine? And he's like,
Yeah.
no, really. And because for me, that was insane.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
But it sold, of course, almost straight away. But the crazy thing is, yeah, okay, we have plateaued for the moment, but not forever, for sure. There is no market like that. Every morning I wake up, and I'm not lying, I have to pinch myself to tell myself,
Same.
how
Yeah.
lucky are we?
Yes.
You know, we're right here next to the beach, and we wake up every morning and we work and live in this incredible place. So will it become less incredible? No. Can we make it better? Sure.
Yeah.
Together as agencies, we can build a much better market if people just play by the game and make sure that we don't get involved with the type of rubbish that I stay far, far away from.
Justin for Marbella Mayor.
Yeah, let's go. Where do I go?
Let's talk about the tailwinds. We've mentioned the lifestyle. We've mentioned the weather. We've mentioned just what a great place it is, and it is.
Yeah.
I think nowhere's perfect, but it's a fantastic place.
It's almost perfect.
What
It really
other-
is. It's almost
What other
perfect.
tailwinds have we got? What other things have we got pushing us along? I would say we got multinational buyer group. We've got from all over the world.
Yeah,
haven't we?
the buyers are insane.
We are a destination now. We rival, I think, Dubai, Miami.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of got to be there.
Yeah.
There's not one buyer, there's not one country that isn't coming in
Yeah.
here, which makes it so amazing for us.
Yeah.
Because one market goes down, the other one comes up.
Yeah.
So we just have to refocus.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that fuels as well the market because
time.
we are constantly replacing one market with another. If you kind of take the last 5 years, you could almost picture on a map, can't you?
Yeah.
What's just pushed and pushed,
Yes.
and then
Yeah.
mini boom,
Yeah.
mini boom, mini
Yeah.
boom.
And it's surprising sometimes, isn't it? Because I think
Yeah.
we all thought, oh, there'll be no one coming from Ukraine and Poland because they'll be
No.
hunkering down. No, loads of money came from Ukraine and Poland.
Yeah.
And now it's
Yeah.
Romania and different places.
Yeah.
But we get inquiries from like just bizarre countries.
Well, America's the new one.
yes, I saw that.
America
Yeah, interesting.
is, you'd get an American buyer 3 or 4 years ago and they would buy something, right? Because they were coming from a long way away. There wasn't a direct flight and they were coming in and you were like, fantastic, they're serious. Now we've got quite a few Americans on our
as well.
lists at the end where we do all our nationalities. And there's a direct flight, so that's tick. And also they are thinking about it. Well, because it was August, they were thinking about it, obviously. Everybody was thinking about it, right? But it's not like I'm coming all this way, so I need to make this purchase. It's like I'm coming all this way and I'm coming back next month.
Yeah.
And then I'm coming back. So if we can't get the deal done, don't worry, I'm back in October. And that's just a difference.
It's
in
always
itself.
evolving, isn't it, this market?
Yeah.
There's always somebody
There's always
coming in, somebody maybe moving
creating a
out.
boom. There's always.
But you've got to have your wits about you, haven't you? Because you can miss
You've got to
it.
be fast and you've got to be able to pivot. And
Yeah.
that's where I think the more experienced agents, and I don't want to say better because that's the wrong word, because I deal with some one-man bands that are absolutely fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
And I just think, do you know what? I hope you do grow into a long-standing, great big agency because you deserve to, because you've got it right from the start. And when you work with like-minded people, it's an absolute pleasure to do a deal.
Absolutely.
But the bigger agencies can pivot a little bit faster than the smaller agencies normally because there's more money behind them. We've got a big pipeline. If that client doesn't buy, the next one's buying. So it is easier for us to move fast.
What about the headwinds facing us? So we talked about all the great things. What's coming down the track that we think is going to cause us a problem? Or what's happening now that's causing us an issue? I'll tell you one thing I think is causing a massive issue. Having taken 2 trips to the UK recently, there's a heat wave in Northern Europe.
Yeah,
Everyone is
that's been a little challenge, that heat wave, hasn't
but
it?
everyone's kind of happy. I spoke to people in the UK who are probably in our buyer group here.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, I'm very happy in England. I don't want to go to bloody Spain.
Yeah.
So it's hot enough here. And it does alter the mindset.
Yeah.
We know that
A
if it
sunny
was
day,
pissing with rain in England, they'd all be inquiring.
a sunny day, the leads go down. I mean, it's a classic.
Yeah.
We've got the weather out in our office for the UK.
Well, we're very affected by tourism, of course, as a group. Us as a
because you've got a restaurant.
So we are. I mean, La Sala's crazy busy all the time, and we've just opened the clubhouse next door. I'm just going to push that. Incredible. I mean, crazy busy. But I think that there's been a slight change for sure, and the weather does make that difference. We're growing out now our rentals, and we're doing the La Sala rental collection, which is going to be a high-end.
You're brave.
Sorry?
You're brave.
Yeah. Well, I'm not
short-term or long-term rentals?
Short-term. Yeah, I know. Don't worry. Listen, we're a hospitality company, so it'd be stupid not to.
Yeah.
I mean, we can provide a villa, almost like a hotel can provide a villa. The thing that we do with the La Sala rental collection, and they're really special villas, is every villa is immaculate. Otherwise, don't take it on. So I won't take a 2-bedroom apartment on. I'll take a beautiful villa within 5 to 10 minutes walk to Portobello's. So I need those clients to come in the summer, but I don't think that we're going to see that drop too much. We've got talking about headwinds. Our headwind is this rental license.
Yes.
And can I ask, just going back to that, so if you take on, because you're based in Nueva Andalusia, the hub, where your office is, you can walk 3 minutes down into the port.
Yes.
You can walk backwards into the residential Gulf Valley. If you take a villa on in that small vicinity, what rental does it get? I'm just interested to know. You know, what do you?
I mean, okay,
got a 4-bedroom villa walking distance.
Let's say between 10 and 15,000
a week.
Per week.
But sensational,
brand new.
That's top end.
Yeah, because I'm not going to go near anything that's not sensational because it's a waste of our time, as you know.
How many weeks would you rent that out? Typically.
I'm going to be totally honest with you. We've just built the collection. I haven't even launched it properly yet.
Right.
We've done some rentals this season as a touch, and yes, I had a few Sundays where I didn't stop dealing with bed linen. I'm not even part of that department.
Did you have your eye?
It's just no, but just silly things. So yeah, I know what you mean when you both went, ooh. But I think come November, because we start our bookings for our beach club in November. So we obviously have a massive back system,
and you can provide packages around
crazy not to. We've got the clubhouse, we've got the La Sala, we've got the beach club, we've got the yacht in Portobello's, we've got private drivers, private members club, and we've got our own private villa. So yeah, we are a big lifestyle business. So I think that we're going to do phenomenally well, I'm really excited.
Yeah,
I think
I probably won't sleep.
Here we come.
I think the rental,
no, excuse me.
I think the rental restrictions have caused a problem. They've caused confusion.
Yeah.
They're still causing confusion.
Oh.
Like we thought we saw a chink of light the other day, and then it's like, oh, actually not. And we've done, I think, various podcasts about it. But I think that's enough just to deter a few people from pressing the button.
There's going to be a fallout from it, right? And I believe, because this happened in Mallorca about 2 or 3 years ago, it could have been longer. And then you had this price disparity between properties that have a license and properties that don't have a license. And that could well happen here now, because I've got a group set up that where once we find out a development can't get a license, it's going on the group.
Yeah.
And there's a lot. You know, and
it is.
actually, I think people, and it's so stupid to do their AGMs in July and August, right? Because of course everyone's going to vote in the community. I don't want a short term. Forget it. Because everyone's pissed off with all of the noise that's happening and things like that.
Yeah.
But that's been the same for
donkey's years. I know, but what's happening is at some point, those people that voted for no short-term rentals are going to want to sell that property. They might want to upgrade, or they might just want to retire and go to a different country.
This is a massive debate.
I think that this would be 40 minutes. If you let me go on that, I think it's a full 40-minute debate, because I am so angry.
Short-term rental, but it's short-term mentality as well, making these
decisions. I think we've already seen it being challenged in the courts. I think it's going to take 6 months to a year for it to go through the courts, for it to be clarified. Because now there's talk about you can transfer the license. Which is great.
Oh,
but then it's still,
wow, that would be amazing.
Yeah, so that is still hot news on the press, in case anybody hasn't heard this.
You can transfer the license from old owner to new owner.
Yeah, so that license stays with the property, not the owner.
But it's still dependent on the community. How does that work? Anyway,
but one small point that because we could talk about this forever, but what is the thought process behind allowing the owners to make the decision to destroy massive amounts of our market, not just for buying and selling, but for tourism? We can't feed the people who need to be fed, who need to be housed, if we haven't got tourists. It's crazy, but there's
can I say
so much
that we've had inquiries, I'm sure you all have, we've had inquiries from people who specifically want a development that allows tourist rentals because they they want at least the option to rent out. We've also had inquiries from people who want to be on a development with no tourist rentals allowed. So I think we're going to end up with a two-tier accommodation system where we're going to have developments that are full of people who don't want any interference from tourists, and then the places that have the flexibility.
I just want to say that if there is owners out there listening, just one thing, am I allowed to talk to owners?
Go for it.
Just one thing for them to hear us is that if they vote against allowing for tourist license, they're shooting themselves in the foot. Whether they want to sell today, tomorrow, or in the future,
but
they are going to put the value of their property down 100%.
But Justin, they don't believe you. I've stood up in.
Well, I'm telling them.
I've stood up in community meetings and said
27 years. How many years are you in the market?
Exactly.
24. Yeah.
25. So it's like
100%
between us. But they don't. They go, no. We think it's going to be the other way. And you're like, okay, what? You're what? Anyway, right. The other thing, I think, bad press. We've had a lot of bad press, seemingly from the UK.
We're always getting bad press.
What is it?
They're
Just they don't like.
because we're interesting.
We're like a zoo, aren't we? We're fascinating.
Well,
I'd
so
watch us. No, but I mean the market itself. I mean, even where was I the other day? On Tuesday night, on a school night in Puente Romano, in a beautiful restaurant, and just the clientele. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
Really fascinating. Yeah. And for any influence out there, this is just heaven, isn't it?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So there's a few. I mean, we've obviously got global conflicts. We've got different things. We've got a bit of inflation. We've got mortgage rates are down. I mean, it's always like this, isn't it?
Yeah.
And people will always find a reason not to do something.
Yeah.
And I say to those clients, I say, well, you're never going to do it.
Yeah.
And don't do it. Honestly, it's
Don't
not
do
right
it.
for you.
Or they're worried about paying too much tax because they can get a better tax rate on an island in the middle of the Caribbean. Well, go and live there.
Good luck.
Go live there. If you're so determined to save 20% tax, go and live in the place in the middle of nowhere.
We all agree to one thing. We wake up each morning and we pinch ourselves and say, how lucky are we to live here? So I have no problem selling to anybody this beautiful place that we live in, because it is the best place in Europe, hands down.
I always ask, Justin, how long have you had your mobile phone number for?
I can't even remember.
Me is
20 something years.
Mine is 20. The day I got off the plane and I went to get a mobile phone.
Oh my God, those were difficult days.
And I get to choose the number. Do you remember you used to look through the little things and then pick your card and that was your number?
Yeah.
And Sean, changed your number recently? Maybe I should be asking you this one. Edit that bit out.
What are phones?
But the point is, that's the reputation. If you live and die by your sword, you're going out to sell something and you sleep at night because you've done the right thing.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between what we do and maybe what in other countries and other destinations that doesn't happen, because there might not be regulation here, but there is the LPA in this section of the world, and that holds a lot of.
But unfortunately, there's one kind of caveat coming with that: is we have to work really hard to be able to provide a really great service to our clients, and I don't mind doing that because I love sleeping well at night and I love my job.
I love my job, actually. I must say.
It's leaving
this
me
is
all
not
warm and
because
fuzzy.
he likes controversial.
Or was that because of the...
Oh, did you? I'm
No,
sorry.
he likes,
We'll go back into rental license. We go back
have an argument.
We'll go back into rental licenses.
There we go. I'll let
And
you-
I can't wait to go into that.
We're coming on the episode about the rental license.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Let's leave our lovely viewers and listeners with some idea of an outlook for the rest of the year. We've got a few months left. What do we think is going to happen? Are we still going to be here?
I think we're all going to be here, inshallah. And I think that we are going to all be working a lot harder than we've worked in previous years. So we need to roll the sleeves up. And I think it's going to be...
Is that because of the numbers of agents and maybe 10 or 20% fewer buyers?
I think it's very hard to forge a relationship with a buyer now. And that's where a lot of the hard work goes. There's not as much empathy in the industry as there should be, in my opinion. People are spending a lot of money, whether they're buying something for 300,000 euros or 30 million euros. they've had to work hard to get to that point.
Agreed.
And I believe everybody should be just stepping back a little bit and just remembering that off the cuff, that's where we're starting from. Somebody that's saved up very, very hard to come over here and buy something.
Yeah.
And whether they look at 2 properties with you or 20 with you, the same energy needs to go into that.
Gold. Yeah, gold.
And I think our hard work is that. It's not so much trying to find the listing or trying to find another decent agent to collaborate with. It's more nurturing your client.
Yeah.
So are we saying August was an anomaly?
What's August?
August was
It's
August?
past.
Yeah.
What's
I already saw, like, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there's already, like, within a very, as soon as the weather changed, I felt also
An energy, the
a
energy
different
changed.
energy.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
I don't know what was
Yeah.
happening in Northern Europe on Bank Holiday Monday just gone, but we had a load of inquiries on Monday, and I do feel that and our team are telling me that the quality of the people coming through now is better than
Yeah.
it has been. So
It's
I
gonna
think
be.
I think
It's
we've
gonna
had a
be
dodgy
great.
2 weeks.
You know, and this first part of September is always quite interesting because you're not getting any families because their kids are obviously going back to school. So you really are getting a very
Serious.
strong
someone's
client.
coming down here to
Yeah.
look at property.
It's a business.
with the
They've
intent.
waited for this
Yes.
moment.
That's it.
So I think we've got really good times ahead. I do think the villa market does need some looking at with
the
the
top
price.
end?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think this top
think you're
end,
right.
and I don't actually, I really
At least
think
quality, if
But
not,
it's
if
those
not
listing
price.
agents at
Price.
the top of the market who need to address that issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just think everybody should be doing a market synopsis of how many properties are selling over 20 million.
Yes.
And then at what point do we become oversaturated? Because that's also
Or
not
even
good.
5 million. You know, it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's a lot
You
of
need
stuff that you
5
get
million
sent
to buy a
and
villa
you-
now.
and
You,
you
do
think,
need 5. Yeah.
not right, Liv.
Well, yeah, you bought in 1950. but
You need to get out more.
But the villa market, honestly, when I see in this zone, 5 million is a tough gig.
It's a lot of money, isn't it?
A lot of money, but not a lot of money when you go to the other destinations.
As
like
long
I
as
say.
the quality and what's provided long term is good.
Yeah.
People don't
that
mind
for
paying.
me is
People don't mind paying top dollar, but they don't want to be ripped off. Do they?
no. And
That's the-
and I think that's so important for us as the LPA to represent good quality developers. And I think we should all be
Yes.
very, very, very careful who we choose to work with, and that we all speak together and make sure that we provide, because again, that's our, this market is our market, and we represent that, and we're supposed to be putting out good quality product, and we all owe it to each other to watch each other's backs. I think that's so important.
Very good.
Well said.
We'll close it there because we could go on for another hour.
Yeah.
Thank you both for coming along and helping out with that. That's fantastic. I think the closing sentiments really are: we are open for business. We've had a little bit of a weird August, but generally the market is doing very, very well indeed. Lots and lots of international buyers are here, wanting to be here, wanting to make this their home or their holiday home or their investment purchase. So life is going on. We are looking forward to the final 4 months of the year, and we're hoping to see you and your families and your loved ones here with us. For me and my guests, thank you so much for joining us, and here's to the next episode.